Anywhere you go, give it on. Anywhere you say, anywhere. Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Hannah and I do hope you're having a wonderful day. Today I'm going to be showing you how I made this cute dress with a wrap skirt. I started by making the red dress and then I loved it so much, so I decided to make the beige as well. The only difference is the fabric and the fitting. The red dress is a loose fit and the beige dress is fitted. Now let's get started with our dress. These are all the supplies that I used for this project: pattern paper, curved ruler, straight ruler, matching thread, elastic band, pencil, fabric markers, some pins, scissors, tape measure, and of course your fabric. We're going to start by making the bodice piece of this dress, and these are all the measurements that you will need. Your full chest measurement divided by 4 inches. Mine is 34 inches divided by 4, which gives me 8.5 inches. The second measurement is going to be your full waist measurement divided by 4. Mine is 29 divided by 4, which gives me 7.3 inches. And our last measurement is going to be our chest to waist measurements. Mine is 9 inches. Here is my pattern paper and I've already folded it in half. I'm going to start by marking 2 inches down from this edge. I'm going to be marking 8.5 inches, which is my chest measurement on the line that we made, and this will be the chest line. Next, I'm going to mark my chest to waist measurement, which is 9 inches, and I will mark and draw a straight line. I'm going to mark 7.3 inches on the line that we drew before. That is my waist measurement. Next, we are going to connect the 2 marks together with a straight ruler. Next, I'll be marking 2 inches allowance on the sides of the bodice. You can make yours 1 inch if you want a fitted look, just like the fit on the beige dress that I'm wearing, or you can make it 2 inches for a loose fit, just like the red dress. I'm now going to add 1 inch allowance on the waistline and the chest line. I've already cut my bodice piece already. Now I'm going to open it up and I will cut it in the middle so that we can have a back piece and a front piece. I'm going to write down this piece as my front piece, and you're going to cut this piece on a fold, and then I will label the other one as my back piece, and you will also cut it on a fold. I've already cut my back piece and the front piece already on the fabric. I'm then going to open this up and I will place the other piece on top of it, right sides facing each other, and then I'm going to pin and sew with a 1/2 inch sewing allowance. After sewing, I went ahead and searched the sides of camera. Now we are going to fold in 1/2 inch twice on the chest area, then we will pin and sew. Make sure that you leave about 1.5 inch opening for our elastic band. After sewing, I'm now going to be inserting my elastic band on that little space that we left, and I'll use a pin to pull it through. To get our elastic band measurement, you just need to take an elastic and then measure around your chest. After pulling through the elastic, we are going to take the 2 ends together and we are going to sew that with a zigzag stitch. And guys, make sure that you close the little opening that we left. Here is our bodice piece, and now we are going to put this aside and start working on our skirt. To get our skirt measurement, you're going to take your full waist measurement divided by 4 inches. Mine is 29, divide that by 4, which gives me 7.3 inches. The second measurement is going to be your full hips measurement divided by 4 inches. Mine is 40 inches divided by 4, which gives me 10 inches. The third measurement is going to be your waist to hip measurement. Mine is 9 inches. And the last measurement is going to be the length of your skirt. So you measure from your waist to where you want your skirt to reach, and mine is 16 inches. For our skirt, I have folded my pattern paper in half and I've marked down a line that is 1.5 inches. I will start by marking my waist measurement, which is 7.3 inches on this line. Next, I'm going to mark my waist to hip measurement, which is 9 inches. And then I will draw a straight line. Next, I'm going to be marking my hips measurement, which is 10 inches, and I will mark on that line that we drew. My next measurement is waist to preferred length, which is 16 inches, and I will mark 16 inches from the waistline that we made before. And then I will draw a straight line. The next step is going to be connecting our waistline to our hip line, and we are going to do that by using a curved ruler. And then from our hip line, we'll just draw a straight line down. I'm just going to add 2 inches allowance to the side, and just like I said before, you can make yours 1 inch if you want a fitted look, and if you want a loose fit, just add 2 inches. I'm then going to add 1 inch hemming allowance to the bottom of our skirt and 1 inch to the top. And after adding allowances, I went ahead and cut this piece out. I've taken a pattern paper that is folded in half. I'm going to take the skirt pattern that I made before and I will place it on this piece, and then I will trace around it, and then I'm going to get one piece and I will duplicate another piece. So in short, you're going to have 3 pieces. So here are the pieces of pattern, back piece and 2 front pieces. I'm now going to keep the back aside and I'll start working on the front pieces. So I've taken one front piece and I'm going to mark 3 inches up from here. I'm going to mark 1.5 inches from this middle line over here and mark. I'm now going to draw a straight line that is going to connect to the 1.5 inch mark and the 3 inches, and then after that I will cut. Next, I'm going to take the other front piece, and this is the one that I'm going to be using to make that wrap. I will start by drawing a straight line from this fold. I'm now going to mark 2 inches from that center line and I will extend that waistline. From that 2 inch mark that we made before, I'm now going to mark 1.5 inches down. From the center line that we marked before, I'm now going to mark 3 inches. Next, we're going to draw a straight line from the waistline all the way to the 1.5 inch mark. Next, we're going to connect the 1.5 inch point to the 3 inch point with a curved ruler. After that, we are going to cut along this side and this side. So here is our front wrap, and we are going to cut 2 pieces out of this. I've cut a rectangular piece that is about 14 inches long and 3 inches wide. I'm then going to fold this piece in half so that I can be able to get the center point. Then from this edge, I'm going to mark 4 inches down on both sides. Then from the center point, I'm going to mark half an inch down on both sides. Next, I'm going to be connecting the 4-inch mark with the half-inch mark, and then after that, I'm going to cut. And we are going to be cutting 4 pieces out of this. I will start by sewing the ties, and I have already cut 4 pieces. Next, I'm going to place 2 ties together with the right sides facing each other, and then I will pin. After pinning, I'm now going to sew along this side, and this side. I'll be leaving this open so that we can be able to turn the piece inside out, and I'll be using a 3/8 of an inch allowance to sew. After sewing the ties, I'm now going to be taking my scissors so that I can trim down the edges. Make sure that you're careful while doing this so that you don't cut through your stitches. After trimming the edges, I'm now going to turn the pieces inside out, and then I'll use a pencil to push the little corners out. Next, I'm going to give this a good press and then put it aside so that we can start working on our skirt. Next, I'm going to be sewing my wrap pieces together, and I've already cut 2 pieces on my fabric. I'm now going to open this up, and then I will place it right sides facing each other. I know it's quite hard to tell on this fabric, but if you have a fabric that has both sides, then it will be easier for you. Next, I'm going to take one tie and I'm going to open this up, and then I'm going to mark 0.6 inches down on this fabric, and that's where I'll be placing my tie. I will pin and do a base stitch before sewing the 2 wraps together. After sewing the tie, I'm now going to pin it away from the edges. This is because I don't want it to be stuck when I'm sewing the other wrap. After that, I'm going to place the other piece on top, and then I'm going to pin. I'm now going to be sewing along this side, the curved side, the bottom, and then I will leave the side open so that we can turn this inside out. And I'm going to be sewing with a half an inch sewing allowance. After sewing, next we're going to be trimming down the allowance with our scissors. I'm going to cut a couple of slits around the curved area. This will help our fabric lay flat when we turn it inside out. Guys, be careful that you don't cut your stitches. We are going to turn our wrap inside out, and as you can see, our wrap really looks good at this point. Next, we're going to give it a good press, and then we will put it on the side so that we can be able to work on the other pieces. Next, I'm going to be working on the 2 last pieces, which are my back piece and the front piece. I've already cut the pieces out for my fabric, and the back piece was cut on a fold and the other piece was cut as it is. I will then place them together with the right sides facing each other. After placing our back piece and our front piece together, this is the long side of our front skirt, and this is the short side of our front skirt. We're going to be placing our wrap over here on this side, but for now we are going to be working on this side, and this is where we are going to be placing our front tie. To determine where we are going to be placing our tie, I'm going to open this piece up, and then I'm going to be measuring down 1.1 inches down from the top, and then I will mark, and that's where I'm going to be placing my front tie. Next, I'm going to be base stitching my tie as we did before. After I've sewn the tie, next I'm going to pin it away from the sides that I'll be sewing. Next I'll place the other piece on top of the back piece, and then I will pin and sew with a 1/2 inch sewing allowance. This is how our pieces look after we've sewn them, and you can see how our tie looks. I've already serged the edges of my skirt, and then next thing I'm going to do is that I will hem the bottom of my skirt, and I will do that by folding in 1/2 inch twice, and then I will sew. After hemming the bottom of my skirt, next thing I'm going to do is to place my wrap skirt on top of the back piece with the right sides facing each other. Next, I'm going to take my tape measure, and then I will measure 1.1 inches from the top, and then I will mark, and that's where I'm going to be placing my wrap. After placing my wrap on that 1.1 inch, next I'm going to take the other front piece, and then I'm going to place it on top of the two fabrics, and then I'm going to pin and sew with a 1/2 inch sewing allowance. After sewing the back piece, the front piece and the wrap piece together, I went ahead and serged the edges of camera. I will then turn the piece inside out, and you can see that our wrap and the ties look good at this point. The next step is going to be taking our bodice piece, and we are going to be placing it on top of our skirt with the right sides facing each other. After placing our bodice piece on top of our skirts, next thing that we're going to do is we're going to fold in twice 1/2 inch, and then make sure that you're folding towards the skirt. Next thing we're going to do is to pin and sew with a 1/2 inch sewing allowance. Make sure that you leave about 1.5 inches space for our elastic band. Next, we're going to be inserting our elastic band on that little space that we left, and then we're going to pull it through. After that, we're going to take the two ends together, and then we're going to sew with a zigzag stitch. And then don't forget to close the opening that you left. By the way guys, to get your waist elastic band measurement, you just need to take an elastic and measure around your waist. Make sure that it's comfortable before you cut it out. It shouldn't be too loose and it shouldn't be so tight. After finishing with the elastic, now we are going to turn our dress inside out, and we are done guys. Here is the final look for this cute red dress. Thank you so much guys for watching, and I wish you a wonderful day wherever you are, and God bless. Bye.